When I was about 11 years old, my parents joined the Zion Society. My parents, they met the self-proclaimed prophet Arvin Shreve, and shortly after that, we moved into the group. They broke up the group into little mini families. Each of the men in the group would have their own harem of women and children, and they would call it a sister council. I was in Arvin's sister council. My parents were eventually thrown out of the group because my dad would argue with Arvin about anything, so I was left behind. Our daily life was really planned out for us. We would do our hair, do our makeup, do chores, garden, read scriptures. Everything was completely perfect on the outside. It was kind of like a Stepford wife situation. Hair was perfect, makeup was perfect, appearance was perfect. I would wear dresses every day, and we all dressed like we were going to church or something. When a girl joined the group, basically they would do a color wheel and tell you what color you were allowed to wear, how long your skirt should be. Even the younger children wore makeup. That was the thing. Perfection on earth. There were a lot of extreme, insane things going on, for sure. There was a lot of sexual abuse in the cult. I was taught at a very young age that it was a privilege to have sexual relationship with Arvin. On special date nights, his wife would answer the door and she would give me some refreshments and kind of warm me up before I had to go and meet Arvin alone. Arvin would explain that the reason that it was okay for him to have sexual relationships with children was that in heaven they were really older, and in heaven he was really younger. So he would mix up the ages and make you feel like you really weren't the age that you were. This was a way that he could justify raping children. I'm trying to speak up today for the children that are still out there. I want to have a voice for the little girl that I was. Nobody should have to go through this ever.
Well, Amber, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And you talk about this, by the way, and I'm so appreciative that you're willing to do so, because this kind of thing has never stopped. I mean, there are estimated to be 5,000 cults operating in the United States at any given time.
Right. Yeah.
So it's still happening. Now, you were separated from your parents when you guys went into the cult, right?
Yes.
They fragmented the family right away.
Right. As soon as we joined, they separated the children from the parents, and sometimes they would even separate the parents. I was separated from my sisters and my parents and put in a different home with other people so that they could really train me and teach me what they wanted me to know.
So they took away your foundation, they took away your ties, so you were isolated,
Yes.
which is the number one tool of the abuser, is to isolate their victim.
Right.
So they can start programming you and indoctrinating you.
Yes.
And what was that indoctrination?
Well, the main focus was that we were preparing for the end of the world.
This was pretty anti-government, right? This end of the
Very
world.
off the grid, anti-government. They would train us on what to say if we were to, get caught.
Right. And what did they tell you to say about the sex?
The children were taught to have sex with each other, and also the children were taught to have sex with the adults. The adults would teach the children how to have sex and then put us in a room to have sex with each other, or they would even take us out in a car while the adults would sit in a car and with the headlights have the children dance in lingerie in front of the headlights for them.